SpeakerBox.
Skinny jeans with the P-code, my pocket bulging from the funds in it. Them bread knots like dominoes, my Gucci bag got the buns in it. I moved to Texas on some rap shit, I'm not going back to that trap shit. I'm making plays and I'm getting sex, I'm in Dallas on some deck shit. A street nigga and I'm still by the Debo living, so I still got it. My faith card worth 20 pounds and 8 juices if I call got it.
Varus Bell, how you doing today, brother?
Bro, I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, Varus Bell, you originally from Mississippi?
Yeah, Starkville.
Yeah, how long have you been in Dallas?
About 8-9 months. I'm fresh.
9 months. Yeah, so explain that transition from Mississippi to Dallas.
Shit, really was a much needed opportunity for me because I'm actually fresh out of prison. Yeah. I just came home from my second prison bid, March 27, 2017. And shit, I just knew if I had stayed in Mississippi, I'd be working on my third prison bid. And in Mississippi, we got the 3 strike rule. So I wasn't even trying to go down that road.
Yeah. So let's talk about your upbringing in Mississippi. How was it growing up for you in Mississippi?
Shit, you know, a lot of people, you got that typical, people say they grew up in a struggle and shit like that, you know. I grew up in Starkville. I grew up in a little community called Blackjack. I was raised by my grandparents, and I can really say, you know, I came up bad. I came up poor. You know, I remember growing up, shit, we had the shit in a bucket and had to take it down the hill, rinse it out. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back in the crib because we didn't have proper pipes in the crib. And then for some part of my life, I stayed with my mama. My mama was, she had me young. And she was on welfare. She Section 8 project housing on the west side of Starkville. They call it the Trap or the West or whatever. So I grew up on that side of town, you know, whenever I stayed with my mama. But for the majority of my life, I grew up in Blackjack with my grandparents. And the country, you know, chickens in the yard. All that country boy for real, slop bucket in the kitchen. So,
Yeah, so you a man of many hats, you know, you got your clothing going right now.
Right.
You got your music going right now. So let's jump into the clothing first. I actually see you rocking your clothing right now.
Yeah, Culture Worldwide.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about Culture Worldwide.
It was started by me and my best friend Ryan, and we always been into fashion. I used to be a part of another clothing group or whatever, but I ain't gonna mention that. But they kind of introduced me to fashion as I know it now, because like with fashion is more than just, you know, clothes to me. You know what I'm saying? Fashion has a lot to do with the culture. You know what I'm saying? Because you think about every race of people have their own unique style. And with us, we kind of we don't want to be put in a box. You know, we don't want our clothing company to be like, oh, that's an urban brand, like how they try to put their hat on FUBU. Same way with Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger, they try to say that's more of a Caucasian brand. Like with us, we want to be for everybody. And so what we try to do is we try to actually give back to the community. No matter what we do, we try to, put some type of philanthropy in what we do. So it's not all about you buying clothes from us and you wearing the clothes and we posting it on our website. You know, sometimes we'll donate some of the proceeds from our clothes to some type of charity or something like that. Like that's actually what we're doing right now with the with this kind of reinvent the Wrap It Up movement, like what Diddy did back in the day.
Yeah. So tell me overall, what are some of the ideas you would like to bring into the realm of clothing and fashion?
Like I said, do more for the people. Like stop trying to actually just sell clothes. You know, that shit getting, tired. It getting to the point to where I get tired of people just coming up to me trying to get me to buy clothes. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me feel like you selling me something. you know, and that's what we want to do, you know. And I feel fashion in a way is starting to make that transition in a way, because you got a lot of people who are actually doing more for the people other than just selling them clothes. And like, that's what we trying to do.
Yeah. So where can the people find your clothing?
You can check our website out, Culture Worldwide. That's CVLTVRE Worldwide. Social media, all our social media names the same, Culture Worldwide. We just substituted the U's for a V.
Yeah. So musically, what made you say I'm ready to jump into music?
I actually been doing music since 2000. I was a part of a group called Blood INC, and I really felt like we was the next thing out of Mississippi, and we could have been, but you know, like, life happened. You know, a lot of us started going off into life. People started having kids. People was getting married. At the time, I was actually in high school, and I always took music serious, but I didn't know the business side of music. So it was kind of like, it's more to just recording when it comes to music. And as I started to grow, I started to learn more about the music industry. And I went to prison in 2010 for my first time. And that's when I knew, like, then, once my basketball career was taken from me, I was like, you know, the next talent I have is music. And people always wanted me to pursue music over basketball because they felt like you could rap better than you could play basketball. So it just started to happen, like, more organic now. Like, it's not forced. Like, the attention that I get and the people that support my music and my movement, they just came from out of nowhere. It ain't forced. You know, I'm not in nobody's face like, hey, take my CD, give me $1 for this CD, and people just rocking with me.
Yeah. So can you pinpoint some of your earliest influences when it came to music?
I always been a Jay-Z fan, like, since the beginning. I grew up around music. You know, my dad is a DJ. My mama, she played music all day long. My grandma played music all day long. A guy from my hometown who I actually look up to this day, Tony Lucius, and his brother Alonzo, V.I. the Champ, like, I feel like if the opportunity presented itself, they would have been, like, the biggest artists in the world right now, because they was actually doing what Drake doing now back in 2005 and 4. And, you know, they still got music that they can, if it ever came down to it, they can play it from 2004, 2005, and you'll be like, damn, like, why they ain't been put this out? Like, they'll give Drake a run for their money. So they influenced me a lot. You know, like I say, Jay-Z, Storm Click, Lil Mimp, like, a lot of guys from where I grew up at.
Yeah. So tell me about the music scene in Mississippi.
Shit, to be honest, it ain't really a music scene, because everybody who's from Mississippi that's on in the music industry, they left Mississippi to be on. And, you know, I moved to Dallas 8 months ago, and when I check my statistics and see where my music being played more, is Mississippi, and next is Texas. And I only been here 8 months. And so Texas giving my home state a run for their money. So, you know, we got Ray Sherman, they from Tupelo, Mississippi. You got Big Crit from Meridian, Mississippi. You got David Banner from Jackson, Mississippi. You got Buddha Boss Player from Canton, Mississippi. And then you got, like, Millie Montana and guys like that from Jackson, Hollywood look. But it stops right there.
Yeah.
You know, like, nobody else is just, like, making, like, huge noise out of Mississippi.
Yeah, so the I Get the Bag freestyle.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting track.
Yeah.
Explain to me how that track came about.
It was forced on me, really. When Young M.A., soon as Young M.A. dropped hers, my partners, they started tagging me in the post. They was like, you gotta do one. I was like, man, nah, you know, I don't like rapping over other folk beat. they were like, man, you got to go on and do it, put that content out there. And I was just chilling one day, and it just started coming naturally. I was like, man, I'm finna go somewhere. We're finna start recording. So I just made a post on the internet one day and was like, anybody in the Dallas area that record, and this guy hit me up. And I went to his crib, played the song while he was cleaning up, and just started, hey man, show me how to record this. And I just mash record and go in, do it, stop it, then play it back a little bit, then just picking up where I left off, and it just came like organic.
Yeah. You also just released visuals to the track Where Your Man At.
Right.
I'm loving the visuals on that.
Appreciate it.
What brought about that track?
At the time I was in prison, and I was interested in this female, and like she was the typical, you know, like bad female, like how, you know, the body, the face, you know, she had the look was on fleek, whatever they call all that. And she really wasn't feeling me like that because of my, you know, my absence. You know, I'm in jail, she in the free world, so she around like a lot of guys who, you know, is available and accessible at the time. And I just kept pursuing her, and then she wasn't really like rocking with me. And so I had just released my video for trust issues, and it started getting a little buzz, and then she tried to come around, and before you know it, and then I had seen she was on Snap with a guy and stuff like that. Before you know it, I just had sent a text like bitch, where your man at? And then after that, I usually write music based off how I feel, you know. I ain't no pussy and nothing like that, but I'm real kind of like little shit do bother me. So when it bothers me, you know, I react, you know what I'm saying, in certain ways or whatever. So in that certain incident, I ended up writing a song, and it displayed everything that, you know, I was dealing with and going through.
Yeah. So I see you've been hitting people over the head with a lot of singles.
Right.
Do you have a project coming up?
Yeah. I plan to release it around spring break, called The Ugly Truth. It'll be my first official album, and I'm extremely excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any features on it?
I got a few because I'm actually put the song Trust Issues on it, and then I'm actually looking for a female artist who's super dope to be on a song with me. But other than that, it probably just gonna be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is my baby. This gonna be my baby right here.
Yeah. So let's turn the tide a little bit. You say you did a stint in jail.
Right.
For a drug charge?
Yeah, my last bid was a drug charge.
Okay. When you first got locked up, what went through your mind?
Well, the last time, I was prepared. You know, my first time, it was different because I was young at the time. And then, you know, they sending me to grown man prison. I did 2 years in the worst prison in Mississippi, Greene County. I did 2 years straight, 2 calendars. And then they sent me to a work center in Jackson County, which is like Pascagoula, Mississippi. That's on the coast. And I did like 8 months there. And then I came home in 2012 and started playing semi-pro basketball for a little bit. And, you know, I was with that company that I spoke of, and then I was hustling on the side because, you know, shit wasn't just clicking for me like that. And shit, I was prepared when they told me that I had cell charges. I had 4 cell charges, over 30 grand. When they told me I had cell charges, I was prepared. So first time it was different, you know. Shit, I'm young. They sending me to the worst prison in Mississippi. Shit, I went in with the attitude trying to make a name for myself because I ain't want to be portrayed as a punk. You know what I'm saying? My height, you know, I'm tall, 6'7", so, you know, that don't mean that in the penitentiary. Like them guys, I know niggas 5'2", you know, they pushing their iron, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was it like for you in jail?
Like I said, my first bid, it was worse because I was trying to make a name for myself. So I stayed in shit. I stayed, you know, in an altercation anytime I'm affiliated. So I was running with some people who, you know, we banging against the opposition. Anytime some beef came about, shit, I was trying to be the first one out there. Because technically I'm the enforcer by law, so anytime an altercation take place, I gotta be on the front line. And so I was trying to make a name for myself, so when I go home, I could be like, yeah, to my partners and them, like, yeah, shit, I pushed that iron on the nigga, I did this. But my second time going to prison, it was different because, you know, I had a little, like, people knew me because I was coming back to prison again, Mississippi Department of Correction, word travel fast. And then the organization I'm a part of, you know, how we operate, like we don't suppose to gangbang. You know, we're an organization, we supposed to carry ourselves in a certain way. And so I started getting more in tune with who I am. And shit, I was just chilling, like reading, educating myself on different stuff, but I still was a part of the function, you know. But I was more like an OG kind of sort of than how I was when I first came into prison. Even though I'm not OG status, but I carry myself like an OG. And a lot of guys in prison respect me though. Like I never met a person who had an issue with me in prison. Before I made people dislike me because I was trying to be something that I know, you know, that shit was just some bullshit, really.
Yeah. So, how did being in jail affect you today?
It might sound crazy to some people, but prison made me better. You know what I'm saying? Because it gave me time to like focus on what's more important. I got 2 little girls, and I never really appreciated my oldest daughter until, you know, I was taken away from her the second time. I was taken away from her the first time because she was actually born while I was in prison. And then when she turned 2, I came home, seen her, and I was only out like a year. And so think about that. I got my baby 7 now, and I only spent like 1 whole solid year in her life, you know, up until, you know, I just got out. I went and seen her when I got out. But, you know, that shit can it'll take effect on you if you really love your kids and stuff like that. And I love my baby more than anything in this world. And then I got a little girl, little baby, little memory and whatever. And, you know, I actually got to be more hands-on with her. And I made a promise I'd never put my kids in a situation like that again. So.
Yeah. Can you tell me what you learned on the street level that you was able to bring into the business of fashion and music?
Yeah, the hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of, like a huge fan of Gotti, but like the art of hustle. Like it never can be taken away from you. Like you can take some stuff on the streets and apply it to the music industry or the clothing business. You know what I'm saying? And for Culture Worldwide, for some people look, it's not a clothing line. Like we an actual company. Like we pay taxes. You know, this is a legal liability company. You know, this is an LLC. A lot of people look at it as a clothing line though, but you know, my partners, they always say like you went from slanging drugs to slanging clothes, and it's kind of like the same way. Like people be buying it just like how they was buying drugs when I was hustling. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, tell me, what inspires you at this point?
Just to put my grandparents, like I want to see them live a better life than what we lived when I was growing up. You know, I want to put them in a position to where they ain't gotta stress and worry about, you know, nothing. And, you know, my kids and just, you know, me in general, never really had nothing in life. I always wanted to have like my own crib, like my own car, like this my car. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to have credit. You know, I always wanted to be able to say like, that's mine. And so that's one of my biggest motivations. I don't want my kids to, I got 2 little girls, and you know, I want my kid to feel like they got to sell pussy or strip or, you know, sell dope or, you know, anything to make ends meet, you know, so.
Yeah. If you had to leave your fans with a message today, what would you tell them?
Basically, you know, follow me on this journey, you know. You're looking at a man who actually making that transition. Like a lot of people feel just because you go to prison that it's the end of the world. Just because I'm a 2-time convicted felon. I got 2 felons, but I also own my own company. So you can be great. You just got to put in that work. You know, support me. You know, I love all the people who support me right now. And for those who plan on supporting me in the future, I appreciate it.
Yeah. I always like to get artists to leave us with a track from yourself. So if you had to leave us with a track, which track would you choose?
Bitch, Where Your Man At?
That's a bet. So we're going to close it out to Bitch, Where Your Man At. This is Kenny Tiller. I'm here with Varus Bell, and we gone.
I got a boo-boo all over again.
Man, we live, man.
We live. We live. Oh, we're going on live. Make sure y'all caught my sex tape. Call the Booty Black Cops dropping this money. Varus!
Oh, shit. God damn, man. Every time I turn around, you got your hand out.
Get some. I just asked you for
You always asking for something.
And you always smash it.
But still, don't you got a boyfriend?
Man, golly,
Don't you got a baby
man,
daddy?
Get it, whatever.
Bitch, where your man
Man,
at?
Varus, I need my hair did. I need my nails did. Man, I need a blunt.
Shit.
And my son needs them new J's that coming out.
Bitch, where your man at?
Varus, you know that new iPhone about
So?
to come out. I need that. And I need some new bundles. You want to let me get some away?
Bitch, where your man
Then my
at?
child support check didn't come this week.
Child support?
You know I gotta be on fleek. Man, I need you to pay my rent for me this month.
Bitch, where your man at?
Varus, I need $50 for a plan
$50?
and $10 for the club. You
The
gonna
club?
get a pack of blacks or what?
No, I'm not new to the game, bitch. So don't assume Varus no lame, bitch. BABC is my alma mater, so technically I run the gang, bitch. I never been keen to tricking hoes. I'd rather stack money from doing shows. And yep, I know Johnny and Quan, bitch, but that don't mean I purchase women clothes. I don't know who been misleading you. I don't feel comfortable feeding you. You need to go slow with a little bit. Girl, you must need some brave shoes. I'm the one hustling my ass off. Me and Debo getting them bells off. Think cause you could trap me? Bitch, I'm the one trapping my ass off. You better go dance and go sell pussy because you won't get a dime here. You better go fuck with a bill payer because ain't that going on here. I sell dick and I sell dreams. This is what I do on my side job. I'm too in love with my damn self. Bitch, I'm content with a hand job.
Speaking of that, I got something I want y'all to hear. I'm going to dedicate it to you. Alright. I fucked your girl, nigga. Sucked the fart out her ass. Then I hit your blunt. I just passed gas. Bars, nigga. I got my bars appreciated.
Where your man? 24/7 is a money chase. 24/7 is about the cake. Fuck buying something I can get for free because I'm really a cheapskate. Man, I'ma look like a damn fool for spending money on Wildcat. Don't look for me for a damn thing. And bitch better go where your man
Man,
is.
Varus, I need my hair did. I need my nails did. Man, I need a blunt. And my son needs them new J's that coming out.
Bitch, where your man? Bitch, I'm I'ma look like a damn fool. Why would you think I would cake you? Just cause you cute with that body, huh? Hell no, I can't date you. Man, all of that begging ain't cute though. You need to go get you a damn job. You just like Tommy out Martin bit. With all of that, I got the damn job. I always sticking your hand out. Always asking for handout. You steady plotting on them power balls, hoping that one day it pans out. Bye Felicia, your begging ass. Every day seem like a Friday. Trying to go down with Tamika and them. Every day Monday through Sunday. Yeah, I know that you got a man, but you be smelling like curd though. Bagel be wearing that same cologne. You must be smashing my cuz, ho. Spacing you out with another man, laughing and kissing and holding hand. $60 for a manicure. I hope that bitch come with a whole hand. You bumping pussy for weed, bitch. Then recycling seed, bitch. Man, I can't buy you no weed, bitch. You need to go sweet talk Kareem, bitch. I'm not buying your son's shoes, and then your daughter ain't getting shit. You better go hunt down your baby daddy. I'm not playing the daddy shit. Bitch, where your man at? Bitch, where your man at?